What is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday night, so it is time for the I-71 Playbook Podcast. I am BB, and that grinning gentleman to my right is BC. How are we, sir? First of all, we
Yes,
have a
BB.
very momentous. We have a very momentous occasion that happened yesterday. Happy birthday
Thank
to
you. Thank you.
Mr. BC.
It's hard. It's hard being 31 again.
Mm. Oh, 31.
Like 17 times
That's a
over.
choice. That's a choice. There we go.
Now 31 was a good year. 31 was a good year because that's the first official time I felt like I wasn't completely poor.
Okay.
so my 20s were fun, but I was poor. So but thank you very much. Thank you. It was a good birthday. It was pretty low key. I'm not used to this getting a paid day off for birthday. Shout out to my boss Robert. Appreciate it. But yeah, no, it was a different experience. My birthday usually always, I had to go to school and my entire life. So this is the first year where I'm like, oh, this is how the private sector works. So
Yeah.
it's different world for me. But no, it was a good day, and glad to be back at it, being on the pod with you and partner.
Ding. So what do we have today? Where do we want to start? Do we want to be agitated and pissed off, or do we want to talk?
No, let's start out with something funny. So I was at an undisclosed location this weekend, and I walk up. I'm in a crowd of people, and I walk up, and there's a guy with a shirt that looks just like this. There's a reason I wore this today. Okay, so this is my Mount Union Purple Raiders shirt, my alma mater,
Right.
Go Raiders. And this guy has a shirt on, and it just says, it's kind of wrinkled, so it looks like it says Purple Raiders. It has the Under Armour here, and it has a pirate at the bottom.
Okay.
And so I see the guy the first time, don't say anything. But usually when I see somebody with Mount Union stuff, I'm like giving them a shout out. It's like OH. You just go Raiders. And there's Mount Union grabs all over the place. So
right.
I happen to go past this gentleman again, and I said, "Go Raiders!" And he goes, "I don't know who the Raiders are, but this is the Purple Riders. Get it right." And I was like, "Whoa!" Like. I'm like, my bad. And I'm like,
wow.
Then I come back with the question, what do pirates have to do with riding anything? There was a bad joke in there somewhere. So anyway, yeah, this guy he probably heard it probably 5 or 6 times, because by the time I got there, he was irate that his shirt said Purple Riders and not Purple Raiders. And like I said, same font, purple gray, with a pirate on it, kind of like, the Mount Union emblem. And so go Purple Riders, wherever you may be. This dude was so pissed. I seriously, I just walk up and punted his dog. That's how mad he was that I said Purple Raiders.
I guess, man. Like, just keep your school spirit to yourself, I guess. Good God.
Man, oh man. Or hey, whatever Purple Rider school you're at, get something original.
Anyway. All right, we gotta get away from Purple Riders, because I don't know how much longer I can keep my comments to myself. So let us move on.
It's tough. Let's talk OSU. I'm in a good mood. They dominated again, baby.
They did. I actually was listening to the game. We were actually driving down to Ohio for the weekend. My friend's adorable little daughter was turning 1. So I was on my way to go celebrate that and see people that I haven't seen in a number of years. So it was a nice little shot of home. Thankfully, no health catastrophes, which is always appreciated. So it was weird. So my person was driving, and I got to be a passenger princess. And I pull the game up on Hulu on my phone because I have Hulu Live, and I'm not paying attention to the video screen, but it's coming through the car. So I'm like not even thinking to like just I could actually sit here and watch the game like a normal human being. No, as when there's a flag, I think 4 different times I was like, "What the hell happened?" Genius! There is something attached to your hand, and you can see what is happening instead of just hearing it and then wondering what went wrong. So it was a little different for me, but it was a very strong game. Illinois was not very happy with us.
I did love. So here's the thing. They win 34-16. They cover. They're on the road. Illinois is not a bad team.
No.
When you watch that game, it wasn't even that close. Like that, the Buckeyes dominated that game on both sides. And then as I go online, I love to go on YouTube after a Buckeyes game to see the local and national reaction. Honestly, you would have thought Ohio State lost that game. One comment. Julian Saint only threw for 170 yards. I don't understand. They're supposed to be this high-powered offense. And, like, their average starting field position was, like, Illinois 30.
Right.
That means he can only throw for 30 yards. They were like, he was only he only completed 80% of his passes or 70% of his passes. He's leading the nation in passing efficiency and passing and completion percentage. Jeremiah Smith, he really hasn't been that effective. Jeremiah Smith is also leading the nation in receiving touchdowns. And once again, on a shortened field, there's only so much. You can't throw the ball deep.
Right.
And then Ohio State gave up their first red zone touchdown. Ohio State, for the first time, had 2 touchdowns scored on. Now, I want to process that. We are in week 6, and they gave up their first red zone touchdown. And it took a non-call and it took a trick play. Then the other one was garbage time because they did go to your favorite term, prevent Patricia. Once again to run the clock out. They're just trying to run the clock out. Illinois scored late. Ohio State dominated that game. Nothing changed. Ohio State dominated that game. People are just trying to make stories because, to be honest with you, right now it's boring.
Well, here's
it's boring how much better they are.
Well, here's a couple of things. All over my social media, somehow I got onto Illinois' side of TikTok, and a lot of the Illinois fans were crediting the win from the Buckeyes to the refs. So here's my thing. The refs did not do 3 turnovers, which was 21 points. Also, Ohio State was getting held all game long, and it wasn't getting called. You also had cheap shots that were being taken. In 2 consecutive drives, you get Jeremiah Smith dumped on his neck, which was a little scary. And then the very next play, so you take out Jeremiah Smith. They're looking at him. They broke his back almost, bent him backwards in ways that humans should not be bent. And then Bo Jackson comes in. And then he's gimping off the field in the next play. So they were getting desperate and they were getting dirty. So, but to kind of counter to your point too, is the Ohio State fan base is relentless. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it's a bad thing. And you're right. I'm seeing all the same things where, well, yeah, they won, but they did this or they did that, and blah, 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 blah. So here's the thing. Yes, Prevent Patricia did absolutely show up again. And it pisses me off to no end. Because that I'm just looking for a reason to not like this Matt Patricia hire. as being a Lions fan and seeing what he did as a head coach there. And every time he does it, and you can tell the tempo changes on the defense, and then things happen.
Well, let's
But also,
if I can examine that real quick.
Sure.
Ohio State, and you're right, 3 turnovers in Illinois territory. And then we also forgot about the punter taking a knee and giving Ohio State the ball like at the 30-yard line again.
Okay, that is I understand that benefited us, but that is one of the dumbest rules in college football.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even. I agree wholeheartedly, but that's a turnover. So there's 4 turnovers right there.
It is 4 turnovers, yeah.
And what happens to an offense at that point, because we already talked about it, they can't put up big yards. You know, they're not going to put up 400 yards of offense because they only have to move, half the field at the most. Right. Also, that also puts more time on the defense, more stress on the defense. So at the very end, at the very end of the game is well in hand. Illinois cuts it to 20-10. Ohio State answers right away like a champ, 27-10, 34-10. Illinois at the very end scores a touchdown because Ohio State is in prevent, because at that point they're trying to just make sure they get out there healthy. They want Illinois. They're letting Illinois have everything underneath. They don't care if that touchdown scored. So I don't have a problem with that, because I think the tempo of the game was so odd because of the turnovers and the starting field position for Ohio State. And what's getting hats off to the defense? You said Jermaine Matthews forced 2 turnovers. Mm-hmm. He caused the interception, and then he did the strip sack fumble. Hats off to him. But Ohio State was dominant in that game. I don't want anybody to get mixed. Like, there is nothing wrong with that game. No.
But see, here's the thing that I'm seeing, and it's actually not just with Ohio State. I'm seeing it with Ohio State, but we have football games on just about every night. And they're games that don't mean anything, that we don't have a dog in the fight, but it's football. And that's what you do in fall, is you watch football, you watch hockey. I bake. It's a wonderful time of year. But I'm seeing a lot of teams that are really, really starting to slow things down, especially offensively. So you're not necessarily getting these super high scoring blowout games. You're getting like tough defensive battles. That doesn't necessarily mean, oh, well, you're struggling with this school or you're struggling with this school. Day came out after the Texas game and said, we didn't even open the playbook. We're in week 6. I don't think we're past page 3 of the playbook. Like, I don't think they're keeping some things in their back pocket, which is fine. So I'm not worried about that. But at the same time, there's a lot of other teams that are starting to do it, where they're starting to really bring that tempo of the game down. And it may not be as high scoring, but in my opinion, which that and, $4 will get you a cup of coffee somewhere, it's going to be less wear and tear on your stars. So they're playing the long game, no pun intended. They're thinking about beyond the season. So they're already thinking about going into the playoffs. And now, since they've got the 12-team playoff, there's no easy road to the top anymore. Like, there's just not. You can have an absolute fluff schedule, Indiana.
Whoa. We're going to talk about Indiana and your boy Kirk Cinetti. We're going to talk about that program here in a second.
Do I have to Google him?
Oh, you know who he is. You know who he is.
I do. But, I mean, so anyway, I think we're going to start seeing that a lot more going across all of college football. So I don't think people should be alarmed. And if you're not getting these huge electrifying plays like the Ohio State fan base is used to, because it was last year, how many times did we see Will Howard just chuck it halfway down the field and, well, number 4 is down there somewhere, he's going to find it. And he did. But I don't think we're going to be seeing that anymore. I think it's going to be more of a strategic.
Julian Sain is doing what Julian Sain should be doing as a redshirt freshman. He is taking, and by the way, it's very mature because he is uber talented. He is uber talented, but he's very mature in the fact. And by the way, hats off to Brian Hartline for calling games like this. He's just taking what the defense is getting him. The defense is going too high safeties to prevent deep balls. He's taking it. If he reads man coverage on Carnell Tate or on Jeremiah Smith, he's chucking it, and he's just doing what he's supposed to be doing. That's what you do when you have superstars on both sides. And by the way, Carnell Tate is a superstar wide receiver. He just happens to be on the field with an all-timer. And, I mean, you think about last year. We weren't really talking about Emeka Egbuka, even though we knew he was going to be a first-round pick, and now he's probably going to be the offensive rookie of the year. We weren't talking about him that way. But back to the offense, you're 100% right. They're not going big chunk plays because that's just not what's there. They're taking the easy stuff, and there is nothing wrong with it.
No.
There is nothing wrong with that. So, once again, hats off to the offense. Love the development of Julian Sain. Love the development of this offense. And I don't think they're in third gear yet. Like I don't even think they still got a couple gears to go. So I do like what Ryan Day. Did you see Ryan Day's presser after the game?
No.
First question he's asked. I love these pressers with college coaches. I absolutely love watching them, especially seeing Brett Bielema just look defeated. There's him and Brian Kelly are the two people. Well, I was going to say James Franklin, but is that too soon? But hold on. I don't want to beat a man who lost his job, but I feel okay because he got like $50 million. So I'm not really too worried about it.
It's more like it's like 42, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's more money I'll ever see in my life. To sit at home. But Ryan Day gets asked the question, the first question. They said, "Are you worried about these slow starts on offense?" And Ryan Day, like he kind of got taken aback. And the one thing I give Ryan Day in his pressers, he's honest. Like he does know how to do the coach speak, but he's honest. And he goes, "Well, I mean, we went down, we scored a field goal, we got the ball back, we went down and scored a touchdown. We were up 10-0 in the first 6 minutes of the game." He's like, "I'm not sure how slow of a start that is." He's like, "We didn't see the ball again until the second quarter." And he's like, "We were up 20-0 right before the half." He's like, I feel 20-0 lead is a pretty good start. And I'm like thinking, yes, 100%. I'm not sure where that but it's like they're trying to, it's like the press is trying to form a narrative that Ohio State just is not as dominant as they are.
Right.
And it's hard to do because they are clearly the best team in the country. They are clearly the best team in the country. And, they're going to be, if they get beat, it's going to take somebody's best game. It wasn't Luke Altemeyer's best game on Saturday, and they lost. It wasn't that kid from that freshman from Minnesota's best game, and they got drubbed. God help Luke Fickell in Wisconsin this weekend because Camp Randall is going to be half empty. It's going to be so sad to see that stadium just dead. And then
and it couldn't have it's not going to happen to a sweeter guy.
And
I still have a grudge against Luke Fickell. I'm sorry. No.
What is it? What
everything that is happening to him right now?
What is your problem with Luke Fickell?
What is my problem with Luke Fickell? Wonderful. I'm so glad you asked. So we're going to go back a few years after Tattoo Gate. Do you remember who stepped in as the head coach?
Yeah, Luke Fickell.
He did. Do you know what the main thing that what he basically had to do that season?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
What was his main objective that season?
To maintain a program that's coming down and be a seat warmer for whoever the next coach was going to be.
Right. So basically, you have a winning team handed to you on a silver platter.
Without a quarterback.
All you need to do is win out.
Without a quarterback. Without a quarterback.
Right. So, but there's program quarterbacks. He had talent. Don't get it twisted. He wasn't handed anything. He was handed a team on a silver platter. And botched it. I had to think of wording because I had to censor myself, so it took a minute. He botched it.
Once again, that's a bad situation. Tressel's out. He takes over midseason. Also, who botched it that season was Dean Smith, the Ohio State AD. And I'm going to tell you why and how he harmed the program. And I'll never forgive him for that. Because in that season, I think what they ended up 7-5. I think they were 7-5. They could have done a self-imposed bowl ban. They could have done a self-imposed bowl ban, but Gene Smith took the bowl money and they went there. Only for the NCAA to come back and say, well, you didn't do it this year, so you're banned next year. And they were 12-0 and the number one team in the nation headed into the BCS. And Urban
that's back when the NCAA had balls. So, but we're not going to talk about that because I can't keep my spicy language to myself. So you end up 7-5.
Right. Ohio State's the best team in the country that year, and they don't get to play for a BCS because Gene Smith that year, in which Luke Fickell handed a tough hand, did not do well. The team, well, for by Ohio State standards, still bowl eligible, still winning, winning record, but they should have taken their medicine right there. And I can remember thinking, why are they playing this game? Because if they self-impose the bowl ban, they probably play for a national championship the next year. That's what pisses me off.
I'm still pissed about that as well. And again, Gene Smith's another name that I'll never forgive. However, if you look at Luke Fickell's coaching style that season and ever since, and especially this season with Wisconsin, it's indicative of another coaching style that we're going to talk about soon. He's terrified of a lead.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrified.
There's a certain mentality amongst coaches when they get a lead that they just want to sit and try to drain clock. We'll talk about the other guy who's Seton Berea is getting pretty hot right now. We'll talk about him here in a second. A couple other things about college football. I think I gave you. Did you get a chance to watch that video I sent you the other day, folks?
I couldn't get the thing to load, but yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I managed. I found it on my own, but I couldn't get the link you sent me to load. But I found it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we like to prop up great moments in podcasting on here. And I wanted to direct you guys this week to Doug Lesmerises, beat writer for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and his surgical takedown of the SEC. And everything he said was 100% true. He comes with receipts. He comes with proof. He comes with statistics. It is a wonderful thing to see. We should probably put that down in the comments after this, just for anybody who wants to link in, because Doug Lesmerises, you are my podcaster of the week, my friend. Great job out of you.
Gold star. Gold star for you, sir.
Gold star. Speaking of college football and your favorite people, the biggest college football win on a resume happened this weekend. It was not the Buckeyes. Who was it?
I did watch that game, actually. It was. Google it yourself. The score. Mr. Signetti and the Hoosiers. That was pretty brutal.
I can see Gene Hackman saying, Gene Hackman, that goalpost, it's the same as in our place. That's 100 yards, just like I know he did with basketball, but it's 100 yards, just like I could see that scene with Kirk Signetti because, my God, Indiana, you have the best one of the season. Yeah.
I don't think
throttled two top 10 teams now.
I don't think I've ever heard a game in Autzen Stadium that quiet. Like, it was brutal.
They were so
my person looked at me because he knows that I'm not a fan of Signetti. So he kind of goes, I think Indiana found their teeth. I'm like, shit, I think they did. So, we'll see. And we won't see Indiana until possibly the playoffs, possibly Big Ten championship.
Big Ten championship. I'm all signed up for a number 1 versus number 2 Big Ten championship. Indiana, I'll say, just give it to me. Give it to me now. Inject it in my veins. And
we were so worried
Indianapolis.
that it was going to be Penn State was going to be the problem, and clearly, nope.
Yeah, Ohio
Oh, how
State's
the
going to
mighty
be.
have fallen there.
We could talk about the demise of Penn State later on at some point, but I'm going to tell you right now, I never saw that one coming.
I did. I absolutely did.
Did I think James Franklin would win anything of significance? No. But did I think this would happen? No. I had no idea. We just talked about it last week. We were like, Penn State's in that kind of bad situation where James Franklin's going to get you. He's going to get you 10 wins every year.
Would be a little bit. Maybe he inject a little bit more life if we brought in Kirk Franklin.
He's going to give you. He's going to give you 10 wins. He's going to give you a second or third place in the Big Ten, and he's going to get you in the playoffs, and he's going to lose, and that's about it. And
wait a minute. Wait. Ooh, I just had a light bulb.
Yeah.
He's like another Pennsylvania coach. Mike Tomlin.
Oh, I knew what you were talking about. Mike Tomlin throwing some shade at Andrew Berry this week.
You know what? That I'm okay with. That I will allow Andrew Berry slander. I absolutely will.
So I want to let's kick into the Browns here. Do you have anything else on the Bucks?
I don't. 3:30 this Saturday should be fun.
Bucks by 500.
Hopefully they whoop up. A little whoop ass.
Ladies and gentlemen, your betting tip of the week. Take Ohio State, given the points every time I believe they've covered every time this season. So Ohio State plus the points.
So, yeah.
And I would not take the over in this. I don't even know what the over is, but Wisconsin coming off a shutout, they are not very good. So
no.
I would definitely hammer the Buckeyes with the points. So the Cleveland Browns. I heard that we're going to get into a lot of stuff here, but I heard something that kind of made me sad because I actually loved this kid in college, and I was excited when the Browns drafted him. He played for Purdue. You remember David Bell?
I do, yeah.
So David Bell, I mean, has of last year suited up for the Browns, and I guess he's retiring. Did you see this?
I did.
He's 24 years old, and they said that he has an injury that if he gets hit again, it could kill him, and so he's retiring. But that made me really start thinking about.
His hip.
Was it his hip?
He had a hip injury.
I just heard that it could be permanently disabling or possibly end his life if he got hit again. So I'm not. Yeah, whatever it was, the kid's 24 and he has to retire. That's sad. That's sad.
Yeah, that's really sad.
But you know what's more sad? This list I'm about to read to you because we're going to get into Kevin Stefanski. We're going to get into the team. But my contention is it all needs to burn. It all has to burn down. And I don't think the Browns will ever be a good franchise as long as the Haslams own it. And the Haslams are now building that, dollar printer up in Brook Park. By the way, seeing him speaking of that, BB, quiz for you. Who said last year that Brook Park was happening because billionaires get what they want? They would pay off the city of Cleveland for about $100 million, so they would drop all their lawsuits, and they would have a press conference at some point together saying how they're going to revitalize the lakefront and build Brook Park. Do you remember who said that?
We've both said it ad nauseum, but the ego stroke that you're looking for would be you.
Called that one. And that's exactly what happened as Mayor Justin Bibb and the Haslam stood up there and talked about their partnership for downtown Cleveland, despite the Browns being moved. It only cost the Haslams $100 million, a pure penance for what they're going to make in Brownstown and Brook Park, in which the Haslams will own every facet of that, including the parking, including the retail, including the real estate. It's just insane. But I want to give you a list of names. Okay, and these are going to be some oldies, but some goodies. And I want you to tell me what they all have in common. Are you ready?
Okay.
And we'll start with David. We'll go with David Bell, Jedrick Wills, Anthony Schwartz, Greg Newsome, Perion Winfrey, Harrison Bryant, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Cade York, Siaki Ika, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, James Hudson III, Tommy Togiai, Tony Fields, Jordan Elliott, Jacob Phillips, and Nick Harris. Do you know what they all have in common?
They were scouted by Andrew Berry.
They were all drafted by Andrew Berry in the first 5 rounds of draft, except for DPJ and Perion Winfrey. Every one of those is a 5th-round pick or better, and they are either out of the league or never got a second contract with the Browns. That is well over half of his draft picks. I did the research today. I went through and just looked at all his drafts. And, oh, my God, if that's not an indictment.
Oh, yeah.
Why are the Browns terrible right now? Well, yes. One of the big parts of this is the Deshaun Watson trade. But their inability to draft players who stay beyond their rookie contracts just it takes up a whole sheet of paper. He's been drafting for 6 years. That's over half his draft picks.
So here's another thing, is the fact that not only, do they not make it out of their rookie contract, because 1 year in football year, or 1 year with the Browns it's like dog years.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 7 years in football years, and it's 1 year for the Browns. I said it last week that how everyone's talking about how Baker is this miraculous comeback story. He's overcome so much adversity. He overcame the goddamn Cleveland Browns.
There's no bigger adversity in the NFL.
There's not. There's really not. But I'm with you, because as long as the Haslams own the team, they're not going to do anything. And it's the same thing with the Cowboys. As long as Jerry Jones has his little shriveled, wrinkled fingers into everything, they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to do anything, and they're going to be an embarrassment. And that's the same thing with the Cleveland Browns.
I need somebody to correct me if I'm wrong on this. But I'm just kind of doing this off the top of my head between this list, and the Browns in the last 6 years only have 2 players that have been extended that they drafted. Grant Delpit and JOK. That's it.
That sounds about right.
Greg Newsome
JOK is still trying to work his way back from an injury.
Right. So
we haven't even seen a return out of him.
They have one guy who is currently playing for them that's on the second deal that was drafted by Andrew Berry in 6 years.
Right.
Why are we defending this man?
No.
Why? Because he may have hit on some draft picks this year. 6 years later,
right?
It's like when you look at a list like that and you actually start saying out loud, like, there's no defense for him. He should be gone.
There's not.
Kevin Stefanski.
Hold on. So if you're gonna open that door for me. Speaking of if you should be gone, this week we saw Tennessee cut ties with Brian Callahan, who started the season at 1-5. I'm sorry. What is the Cleveland Browns' current record right now?
They're both 1-4. But here's the thing: Brian Callahan and Kevin Stefanski in the last 23 games have the same exact record.
Right.
They're both 4-19.
So again, and I don't want to hear the argument anymore that, but he's 2-time coach of the year. That's been debunked clearly. This man does not know what to do if he gets a lead. He does not know what to do to obtain a lead. Sitting here watching that game on Sunday.
The first year he got credit for managing COVID as a first-year head coach. That's what he got. Browns won a playoff game.
Participation trophy.
2 years ago,
bugging me. Sorry.
Joe Flacco goes on an all-time heater that, he went on during their Super Bowl run with the Ravens. Very similar. And he got it for that. And now we are seeing, 2 years removed from that, we are seeing the most unimaginative offense. We are seeing the lack of helping you have backup left tackle or backup left tackle, backup right tackle. Jack Conklin got hurt again. I mean, he spent more time on the IR than he has on the field for the Browns.
Don't even get me started on Conklin.
That being said, he's not putting tight ends into chip. He's not running big personnel. No. He has Dylan Gabriel throw the ball 52 times on 58 dropbacks, and because there were 6 sacks there. And his second start against Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin, who is notoriously good against rookie quarterbacks. Yeah. And that was your game. And you ran the ball 12 times with Quinshon Judkins. Your best offensive player, Quinshon Judkins, touched the ball 12 times. And then at the end of the game, they had a 7-play series at the goal line. A 7-play series that got aided by a pass interference right by the goal line. And they couldn't punch it in. Quinshon Judkins was on the first play, and he never saw the field again. And they had Jerome Ford in there. Why? Just why?
I mean, what the hell are we doing? I mean, I understand it's the Browns and the bar isn't set very high, but good grief. Here's my other question. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Where the hell is Myles Garrett?
I don't know what's going on there.
Tell me this. This man has an absolute public meltdown and a temper tantrum and says he wants to leave because he wants to play for a competitive team. Swears up and down that it's not for money until they back a Brinks truck up to his house. And I love Cleveland again. No, you love your bank account, which is fine, and I respect the hustle. But he also came out and was like, I'm going to be more of a leader on the field and off the field. Bullshit. He's in there for 2 plays, and then he's on the sideline. And do you know how many sacks that the Browns recorded on Sunday against Pittsburgh? None. Absolutely none. So where the hell is Myles Garrett? Because he's not on the field. He's not on the field, but you know what he is? He's really, really good at this season?
Press conferences?
Running his mouth.
I'm not sure what's going on because the first couple games he's dominant. He has been a no-show the last 2 games. And I've particularly I've been watching him. And what was more disheartening was I'm like, okay, he must be getting double, triple teamed. He's getting chipped. No, quite a few times it was just him one-on-one getting beat. He was not beating this guy. And, I don't know if it's just indicative of the defense just being like, hey, no matter what we do, this offense can't score. I don't know what it is, but it's a bad look for him, for sure.
It is. It's a real bad look for him.
We talked about it in the spring when he was demanding trade. We both said, get out of here.
Go.
We both said, Browns, get what you can for him. Start rebuilding. Tear this thing down to the studs. Start rebuilding it because it was going to be near impossible to try to course correct with Deshaun Watson's contract. It was going to be near impossible. We're seeing that right now that it's near impossible. Dylan Gabriel, he's being dealt a terrible hand, but he ain't it. There was a play. There was a play Sunday. So I'm watching. My neighbors came over. We're out in the new auxiliary garage with the TV playing, and my neighbors came over watching the game. And there's a play where Judkins runs around the side. It's supposed to be a little dump off pass. Problem is the linebacker sees him and plays it. And right. Gabriel throws it right into the hands of the linebacker, and my neighbor's going, what is he throwing at? I said, he couldn't see him. He's too short. He literally could not see around. He couldn't see around the right tackle. And right tackle, he's left-handed. No, I've been a left tackle. He could not see around the left tackle to see that linebacker came down in coverage. And it should have been an easy pick six. The guy dropped it. I think he was more surprised. I think he was more surprised than anything that the ball came to him. But that is a problem.
Yeah, it's a huge problem.
And in his defense, he made a couple nice throws that he got let down. Like, I think some of his best throws the last 2 games, his receivers dropped. The one to Harold Fannin was a beauty that he dropped this week. Last week, he threw a beautiful one to Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy dropped it.
Jerry Jeudy couldn't catch a cold right now.
What a disappointment.
You had 13 targets on Sunday, and you caught 5 passes.
Yeah. And you know, over half the ones that he didn't catch were in his hands. Like, and then he had a series. He had a series in the first quarter. He gets called for a personal foul. Gets into it with a once again, it's one of those where he gets hit and he slaps the guy and he gets caught.
And it's the one who retaliates is always the one who's going to get caught. He didn't instigate it; he finished it.
So you go to a 1st and 25 because of that personal foul. Right. He then gets a ball in his hands 18 yards down the road. Like, Gabriel puts one right in his hands, and then he drops it the very next play. So instead of being 2nd and 7, it's now 2nd and 25, and Jerry Jeudy cost you 15 yards and couldn't get the 18 back. And it's just like, it's just indicative of the Browns season. I mean, here's another one. And you know where I'm probably going with this. The Browns are about to score. They're down at the goal line. It was in that series where Junkins wasn't in. Isaiah Bond cuts across on a slant, wide open, and Gabriel puts it where it needs to be, and it goes right off his helmet. He never looked for it.
Never even turned his head.
What are we doing? And then he is bitching. He's screaming. Like that was on Dillon Gabriel. Like that was on somebody else. Like, it hit him in the head. And I said, there is nothing more indicative than Browns football than that play. It's just.
I'm morbidly curious to see how Sunday's going to go. Because if there's any more of a dumpster fire than Cleveland, it's Miami.
Really? The losing coach of that game is probably getting fired.
Oh, wait. Can they both go? Because I've been waiting for Mike McDaniel to get shit canned.
I truly believe one of those 2 guys is going to get fired after Sunday. With our luck, they'll tie.
Well, now I have something to look forward to for Monday. What's that?
I said with our luck, they'll tie.
Damn it.
You know, and I'm, you know, I actually personally, I think I like Kevin Stefanski. I just don't think that this is it for him. And like I said, the offense is not imaginative. He is not a quarterback whisperer. Because I don't know what quarterback he whispered to. He's never developed a quarterback. He's never developed a quarterback.
No.
The quarterback that that he could not get along with is now going to be the front runner for the MVP with the team with the best record in the NFL because of him.
Right.
I don't know. I will say I'm still animated, so apathy has not kicked in. The apathy has not kicked in yet.
I'm still in the anger stage. I'm not working my way through the 7 layers of grief yet. I'm still angry. Because at this point, I'm like, just burn it all. I just want to watch it all burn.
Yeah.
Burn it all down. The new Jimmy World. I want to just burn it all.
And like I said, it goes back to the top. It's always Haslam.
It is.
It's always Haslam. It doesn't matter who he hires. It doesn't matter who he puts on the field. It is a loser franchise. It is a poverty franchise. And I mean, think about this. The Browns the last few years have spent more than any other team in the NFL. And they've gotten
they have nothing to show for
it. Four wins. For spending more money than and that once again, just more indictment on personnel, more indictment on contracts, more like it just none of it makes sense. None of it works. And they can fire Andrew Berry, and he is definitely there's no way to defend him after what we just documented. You can fire Kevin Stefanski. There's no way to defend him after what we've documented. But Jimmy Haslam's going to make the pick on the next coach and the next GM. And you know what? The only GM we've had worth a damn that Jimmy Haslam had, he fired, and that was John Dorsey. That was the only one. That was the only guy I knew how to pick talent. That was the only guy I knew, that brought excitement to his franchise. The whole thing.
I've said it before, and you bring it up. You bring John Dorsey up. So I've said it before. I've said it multiple times on this podcast. But the Lions brought in Dorsey. Sheila Ford Hamp brought in Dorsey and cleaned house. And Dorsey brought in Brett Holmes and Campbell, and they started rebuilding. And now they're no longer the Browns of the North. They're actually a team that is showing signs of life. And
if Dorsey's not gone, Baker's still the quarterback here, because you know who got along with Baker and knew how to talk to a football player? It was Dorsey.
It was Dorsey.
He drafted Nick Chubb. He drafted Myles Garrett. He drafted Denzel Ward. I can remember that draft in 2018. The Browns have picks 1 and 4, and everybody thought, oh, you take Saquon and you take the second best running or quarterback, or hey, you take Josh Allen, or you take Baker, and then you take the best defense. You take Bradley Chubb. Remember Bradley Chubb? He was
I do.
the big defensive end that year. And I can remember watching an interview with John Dorsey, and he's like talking about draft prospects, and he was like, yeah, that cornerback from Ohio State, man, that kid can do everything. And I said, he's taking Baker number 1 because he's a Baker guy. I could tell. He's taking Denzel, and then they turn around and they get Nick Chubb.
Well, hold on. Time
all
out.
in one draft.
Hold on. Denzel can do everything but stay healthy.
Yeah, but still, Denzel is I hope we understand that he's a borderline Hall of Fame cornerback. If he was on a better team,
would be.
we'd be like, oh yeah, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer if he was on a better team.
Right.
That's what's gonna keep Joel Bitonio out. Joel Bitonio should be in the Hall of Fame. He probably will never get there because he played for the Browns.
We wasted Joe Thomas's entire career.
We did, and so it's just like, Dorsey drafted all these guys. He gets Jarvis Landry here, who was the glue to that team. He gets Odell here. Builds a powerhouse and a team, that Stefanski inherited in 2020.
Right.
That was Dorsey's team. That was not Andrew Berry's team. That was Dorsey's team.
No, that was Dorsey's team 100%.
And they were a terrible call against the Chiefs away from playing for a Super Bowl berth. And it's just the whole thing's depressing. Like I said, apathy has not kicked in yet. But
what I was starting to say is
we're getting close.
What we need is a culture shift.
Yeah.
From the top to the bottom, it's got to be a complete culture shift. If we want any shred of hope, again, look at what Detroit has done in the last 4 or 5 years.
I'll agree.
That could be Cleveland. But until we get that culture shift, it's never going to change. I don't care how many number 1 draft picks that they've got. It doesn't matter. It's not going to matter because you can't get these guys to give a shit.
And we're going to have
it is apparent. It is absolutely apparent that big players on our team don't give a shit anymore.
The losing wears on you. The losing wears on you as a player.
It does.
Not making excuses. They're getting paid good money, but the losing.
You're getting paid ridiculous amounts of money.
Especially,
so you can either still fight for it, or you can roll over and give up. And if you want to roll over and give up, then get the hell out. Go cash your check somewhere else. Just get the hell out.
Going to the Pittsburgh game, and I haven't seen the statistics this week. I haven't seen the rankings. The Browns are still the number 1 defense in the NFL going into last week. They still were.
They were.
And their offense was still the number 31 offense. I can't believe there's an offense worse than them. But congratulations, Tennessee. You took the title there. And it's got to be hard knowing that you're out there doing everything you can, and your offense can't score more than 17 points. Like it's got to be. If you hold teams to 20 points in the NFL, you should win a majority of those games, and they can't. They just can't do it because
I hear what you're saying,
Yeah.
and you're right. Yeah. But at the same time, if you let that apathy take in and take hold, then why even bother suiting up for the game at that point?
No, I agree.
Because the fact that you don't give a shit is apparent on the field as well.
Yeah. And once again, I don't want to ever say they don't give a shit. I just think when the team decided to go to Dillon Gabriel, they realized that the front office didn't give a shit. When they didn't really approach quarterback with a plan, they said, they don't give a shit, in your words. It's hard to play to a standard when you're on the field all the time. I mean, watching that offense. I mean, think about for us, watching that offense is painful. They're not going to get a first. You know that getting a first down, and the worst thing is about every other drive they start to drive out 1st and 15, 1st and 20 because of some kind of penalty. And they're not getting that.
Because it's the Browns and they're doing stupid shit. I get that. Because Kevin Stefanski is a boring, unimaginative play caller, and he won't give up the play calling. That's also part of the problem. But when you are being paid ridiculous amounts of money to go out on the field to make a statement, and you're in for 2 plays, and then you're on the sideline and running your mouth and record nothing that you're supposed to actually be paid to do, how are you going to have the number 1 defense in the league and record absolutely no sacks or pressures on the quarterback?
I don't. Once again,
he's our age. How can you not put him on his ass?
No, I don't understand what like I said, what's going on with that team. But and it's heartbreaking. I don't see it getting any better, and it's going to be a long year. If here's my warning, and Kevin, I hope you're listening. If you lose to Miami, buddy, I don't care what protections you're told at the beginning of the year. It's if it's not coming from in the building, it's going to be a pressure cooker outside the building, and the pitchforks will be out in Berea for you.
Are they, refresh my memory because I haven't looked at the schedule, are they in Miami or are they home?
It's home. They're home this week.
They're home. Ooh, yeah. Kev.
Yep, he's got.
You may want to have somebody start your car for you. Yeah, if you lose that game on Sunday.
Like, I can't reiterate how important it is for the Browns to win this game for that regime. So, anyway, God, that really we were having a good time the first half hour, and the Browns once again kill our vibe. Thank you, Cleveland Browns. Every time.
They are the reason why we can't have nice things at all.
So depressing. So depressing. And I tell you what, if they somehow manage to lose on Sunday against a team that is actually worse than them, whoo, the pod next week, it's gonna be a humdinger.
I'm okay. I'm gonna go on record now because you always ask me, "What's your score prediction?" I don't have a score prediction. What I predict is going to be pain and frustration for 3.5 hours on a Sunday afternoon in my living room. What I will say is that if the Browns go full Browns and they lose to that smarmy looking little shit in the sweatsuit on the sidelines.
Mike, we'd love to have you on the pod. Don't listen to her. We'd love to have you on the pod. Go ahead. Sorry.
Don't forget your vape.
I want to line up him and Kirk Cignetti because you have 6.
Oh my God.
Here's
what I'm gonna say: is if they manage to lose.
Thank you, Will Howard, for that one. I will never forget. I
actually do have candy cigarettes in the house, so I'll bring the candy cigarettes on the pod. I'm telling you this now. My temper and my rage and my mouth has been mostly
You've done well. You've done
Decent.
well. Yes,
I
you've
have done well, thank you. If they manage to lose on Sunday, I'm gonna sound like R2D2. You are gonna have to just beep literally every other word because there is no nice way to say whatever I'm gonna have to say. I'm telling you this now.
If they lose to the Miami Dolphins at home, like Kevin Stefanski should just like get up and resign. Like there should like he should literally resign at his press conference.
Pack your shit and get out.
Like, hey, look, I tried, gave my best shot. I can't do it. You know, like that literally should happen on Sunday.
Did you know?
Oh no, it won't happen. It won't happen.
No. Did you give it your best shot, Kev? No.
So anything else, BB? Because I'm sick and tired about talking about the Browns.
I'm agitated and I'm spicy now. So no, I have nothing else to say. I mean, there are several things I could say, but
not pod friendly things.
Not yet. So, with all of that being said, from the dog pound to the shoe and all of the spicy hosts in between, I'm BB.
I'm BC.
And this has been the I-71 Playbook Podcast.
Like and subscribe, kids. Like and subscribe. Mike McDaniel, Kirk Cinetti will want you on the pod. Okay.